How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Flame, and we are back with another FPL live stream here on Twitch. And it is Game Week 12. I believe it's Game Week 12 deadline. Lost count. There's so many coming so fast, basically, in the next coming game week. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, Game Week 12 is tomorrow. I usually do the deadline, if you don't know already, on the day before. If it is like in the middle of the week, so like next week Tuesday's one I won't be able to do, because it is in the middle of the week. However, the one over Boxing Day I will, and any ones that are on that start on the weekend I will be able to do that, which is, you know, a bit of hit or miss. Just trying to put my glasses cleaner away here. I'll pack that away. There we go. So, things that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the potential big three. We're going to look at some XGI and attacking output over the last 4 game weeks. We're going to look at the goals imminent table. And we're going to look at a potential transfer that I might be making as well. Also, I would like to also give a shout out to Zodiac DK. He followed 2 days ago. So, thank you for following. Hopefully, he joins us on the stream tonight, which you can do if you are watching this on YouTube, because this will go up after the fact. We do the live streams over on Twitch, so come on over, get interactive. We usually do them at 7 p.m. EST if it's through the middle of the week. If not, we do them 1 hour before the deadline, if it is a weekend that it starts on. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, and the title's wrong as well. I didn't fix everything that I thought I did. And we'll just get that sorted really quickly here. Make it nice and somewhat even. That'll have to do. Alright. Mono's in the chat. Mono17 says, locked my 2 transfers in early last week, but last game week was not the stuffing of my appetite to succeed. I don't know if that's supposed to be a Christmas pun, but if it is, I rate it. I had my company Christmas party that was socially distanced. We would normally have, you know, like a proper dinner or something, but we did it all. We basically got food catered, and we all played games from all our different desks, which was quite fun. But I had some stuffing, had some chicken, had some turkey, had some ham, had a whole bunch of food. It was delicious. But getting back to this game week. So this is my current team that we have up on the screen. Last week, we had a good game week overall. And for the last few game weeks, we've had pretty good game weeks. So we've only really had, you know, three red arrows the whole season. You know, we had game week 1, which was our original one, but we had, you know, green arrow up like 400k, green arrow of 1.3 mil, green arrow of 1.1 mil. Then we lost 500k. Then we lost around 150k. Then we gained 300k of it back, then lost 150k of it back. So we've kind of gone up and down, And the green arrows over the last couple of weeks have been slow but steady, and at least they've been in such a way where we can keep climbing, which is nice. So yeah, we're looking okay going into this week, and we have the what we discussed earlier on the last stream. As the holy trinity, as it were. So that's being Salah, Fernandes, and De Bruyne. Now, the reason they're called the holy trinity is because all 3 of them take penalties for their teams. All 3 of them are the most likely players to be nailed on in their teams. Salah is a little bit more rotation risk heavy, but Fernandes and De Bruyne, they rely on them so heavily. Salah is just like, he's just really good and takes penalties, so. And Klopp came out saying that Salah was one of the players that needed minutes in the Champions League. So I don't think he's going to get rested versus Fulham. I have the captaincy on him, and I think it's not going to go anywhere from him, personally. If I had to choose, if Salah wasn't going to be my captaincy choice, it could be the person that I could be bringing in, but we'll discuss that in a bit. Because we brought in Salah this week, we took out Sterling, because Sterling is not as good as De Bruyne in terms of an FPL asset at the moment. And we want to keep De Bruyne longer term because we know he's going to be the least likely to be rested apart from like Diaz and Ederson. So we will make sure to hang on to him. And De Bruyne will, assuming you know, no craziness goes down on Saturday in the Manchester Derby. He'll most likely be the captain in Gameweek 13. However, that could easily change to Bruno versus Sheffield United away. Both of them are going to be very highly captained players, and both of them could definitely do well. But the fact that I have both of them in my team, just have to hope that they both do well, and I captain one of them that gets slightly higher points than the other. Or if they both break even, then it works out for me. So yeah, let's take a quick look at the fixtures again. So tomorrow, like I said, it's the Friday fixture. It's a 4 o'clock my time, so that's 8 o'clock UK kickoff, I believe. So the deadline is an hour and a half before that, which is 2:30 my time, which is 1:30 EST. So make sure to remember that. The Newcastle fixture is going to go ahead from what what I've heard, which is good to hear that they've got things under control, because if you didn't know, last game week the fixture was cancelled between them and Aston Villa, and basically they had to shut down their whole training facility. They had to make sure everything was fine, getting things sorted out for COVID and whatnot, making sure everyone was tested multiple times, make sure the facilities were cleaned, all that sort of stuff, and made sure that everything was a-okay. Now that everything's a-okay, Newcastle have some pretty good run of fixtures. They have West Brom, they have Leeds. Leeds away probably is a bit trickier, but then they have Newcastle at home, or Fulham at home, sorry. Then Man City is a bit trickier as well. So, and then they have Liverpool after that, which isn't ideal. But a couple of decent fixtures sandwiched in there before they have somewhat of a tough run. But for this week's fixtures, the key ones are going to be, I think it's going to be the Manchester Derby. The Everton-Chelsea game is definitely going to be interesting. And it's going to probably be the Spurs-Crystal Palace game for me. Those three are probably the ones that I'm going to like, that could potentially go either way. So if you have Kane and Son, you want to be rooting in the Crystal Palace Spurs game. Although Crystal Palace just came off a 5-1 win, they're going to be, quite enthusiastic and energetic about coming off such a massive win. Benteke even scored, so that's just something new, because he hasn't been playing for them at all. Zaha's been doing well. Eze looks to be gelling into the team nicely now, so it could be a tough ask for Spurs. And Spurs will probably have to bring the heat to Crystal Palace, because they're just going to sit back and let Spurs, try to break them down. But we'll see how that goes. The Everton versus Chelsea fixture is interesting because Everton, which we'll take a look at in a bit, are pretty bad in terms of, actually I think they are the worst in terms of defense over the last 4 game weeks. And Chelsea's attack is quite good. And if you're going to go in with a back four of, Michael Keane, Yerry Mina, Godfrey, and Iwobi as your back four, that could pose some problems. And I think Everton definitely do work better with a back four. I think they can still probably make out okay if they play Andre Gomez with Alan and Takori in that midfield, assuming they're all fit. But the back four is definitely very, very weak. And with Calvert-Lewin not getting the service from Seamus Coleman, who could be back this game week, but still not sure on that, and with Digne out for quite a while, it could be a bit tough for Everton, even though they are at home. And then the Manchester Derby obviously speaks for itself. Hopefully I can do a tactics talk for that. It is a very, very quick turnaround for this game week. So what I might do is, I'll leave a poll. What would you rather? An extra stream where we talk about FPL on the Sunday and then we do the deadline stream on the Monday? Or would you want the tactics talk for the Manchester Derby on the Sunday, which is also going to be a video, and then like a deadline preview stream all jammed in one that won't be as long as the other two combined, but will still be kind of just the stream in general. So on the Monday. So I'll probably put a poll for that, and hopefully we can get that sorted. But yeah, it can definitely go either way. Definitely can go either way. I think if City play the 4-2-3-1 that they've been playing, Man United can get in behind that for sure, even though on paper it seems better defensively. But Rodri and Fernandinho are not quick. Fernandinho is aging. and Rodri's just not quick at all. And if you have Rashford and Greenwood getting in behind them, going 2v2 versus Laporte and Diaz, I favor Rashford and Greenwood. I favor Greenwood 1v1 versus anyone, to be honest, because he's just that talented. Rashford's pace, like nobody's catching up to him, to be honest, if he gets the ball in behind. So, and we just have to hope that their instinctual finishes will come to light. So, hopefully that is the case. Now, going back to the lineup here, that was another thing as well that was mentioned. I wonder if they've put it here. I don't. Is it 18 or 19? I don't think they've put it there yet. But basically, they announced that West Ham will be having a double game week in its. I think it's game week 19. I want to say. So that should be interesting to see because of Antonio, who is somebody who struggled with fitness this season already. He could be a good option. We could have Souček being a good option. Kufal, you know, even Fabianski could be a good option going into that week. Could be a good free hit week, potentially. So we'll have to see on that front. But yeah, first double game week was announced that West Ham will be playing a double game week in game week 19. So we will see how that works on that front, and whether there'll be a blank game week before that week, we'll have to see on that front. Also, just wanted to mention we do have you can get a subscription here on Twitch if you would like. It is not required, but it's definitely appreciated. You get if you get the tier 2, you get the silver emote. If you get the tier 3, you get the gold emote. But it's the one emote for now, the Pilot Flame approved avatar emote. I still have to change the names. And then you also get a badge next to your name, which is like a little flaming, like Pokemon gym badge type thing that I've gone with. So quite interesting. So if you want to do that, come over on Twitch and subscribe. Eventually, we will be moving the subscribe / membership, whatever you want to call it, because I know YouTube has it slightly differently, over to YouTube, depending on when I go to do that. But that's going to be in the distant future for the time being. But now we're on Twitch here. And yeah, so let's take a look at one of the transfers that I'm going to do. I'm actually just kind of decided to do it right now. I think it just actually, do I want to do it? I think I'll wait for the team news. I'll wait for the team news, but basically I can tell you what the transfer is going to be. It's going to be for a hit, and that may seem silly, but I think that getting on bandwagons early makes things a lot better. And it's going to be getting rid of Calvert-Lewin for Danny Ings. We'll have the double, we'll have 0.2 billion in the bank. And then we'll basically play our front three. Grealish, Salah, De Bruyne, Fernandes, Chilwell, Ayling, Lamptey as our and McCarthy obviously in goal. And we'll run that out. And I think that we could just, our differential pick will be the two attackers for Southampton versus Sheffield United. Whereas a lot of other people will have Kane and Son. But actually, the Salah, De Bruyne, Fernandes triple up is actually something that's it's like single-digit percentages in terms of who has all of them across the whole game. So if you do have them, it is somewhat of a differential. So, you know, a lot of people are favoring 4 of the big hitters, or some people are even trying to get 5. I tried to do a draft of what it would look like, and I don't think I have the funds just yet, but I think I came up with something. So let me see if I can remember what it was. But yeah, basically it's going to be Calvert-Lewin for Ings, assuming he's fit. So just have to get news of that. I think we kept McCarthy. Chilwell was gone. Kilman was gone. Tellers was gone. Lamptey was gone. Grealish was gone. Burke was gone. Adams was gone. Calvert-Lewin was gone. So it was Kane. And this is me thinking ahead for a potential wild card going into game week 16. Because that'll be the last time we'll be able to use the wild card. Souček. I think it was... Did I get Brewster? I can't remember. Now I know Masuaku, he posted something on Instagram saying that he's having knee surgery or something. But I know there's another West Ham defender that's cheap as well. Where is he to? Yeah, Balbuena is the other one, who plays pretty much all the time. Or you can go 0.1 up to Kufal if we have the funds. So Kufal, Ailing, where's Leeds? Alioski, Ferguson for Crystal Palace because he could potentially be coming back and he's 3.9. And then defenders. Defenders. Cheap as chips. I'm trying to think who is likely to. Oh no, that's who it was. It wasn't Alioski. It was Charlie Taylor from Burnley. And then I think I went with Nico Williams just from Liverpool, just because. And that's basically how the wild card would work. So you would basically play the cheapest possible backline you could, pretty much. And if you look at fixtures from here on to the end of January, I mean, you can even say all the way up to the middle of February, West Ham's fixtures are pretty good. Leeds fixtures from here on, I mean, they're okay. There's some good ones, some bad ones, but again, we're spending all of our money in our attack. Charlie Taylor, you know, Sheffield United, Fulham, two really good ones. Again, Liverpool away isn't great, but that's where we hope Salah does damage. If Charlie Taylor gets a donut for that, then whatever. And then McCarthy as well. His fixtures aren't the greatest, so if we could find another goalkeeper for you know, a little bit extra. Maybe Meslier is probably someone we can go for in this case. And then we have a Leeds double up in defense, but we have triple Leeds just in general. That would be something that you can go with, and you still have potentially two decent subs on your bench. If Ferguson comes back and starts playing, you'll have Brewster, Ferguson, Nico Williams probably won't play, but you get what I mean. And you would play Souček game in, game out, because Souček's fixtures are, as we saw, quite good. And Souček plays every game and does quite well. The only issue would lie is if Souček was injured, because that's what this all stems off of. And this is basically how you would get... voice crack there a little bit. This is how you get 4 big hitters plus Son into your team, basically. If you had an extra million, so my team value I think is 102.1. And this is going on the assumption of the value that I have Fernandes, De Bruyne, and Salah in already. With everyone else, I would have to buy them from scratch price. Oh, and Bamford, sorry. I would have to buy everyone else from you know, whatever price they are at the time. This is how it would go. If I had an extra million, you could make things, you know, a lot safer. You can go, if I had an extra million, instead of 3.9, I'd be a 4.9 million defender. That defender could be, I mean, could be anyone really. You know, you can get Dallas over Ailing and then change somebody else elsewhere. You can go, if you had even just a little bit more money, you know, Reece James, he's probably gonna be 5.5 by that time. So if you're in the, you know, 104 million park, you know, in terms of value, from players that you could be selling, you can have like Reece James and then one of these three plus like all the big hitters and stuff, which would be fantastic. But yeah, that was kind of something I was experimenting with today. But yeah, most likely my transfer. Make sure to follow us over on Twitter so that you can get the lineup that I post. I'll do it, you know, once I've heard the team news and whatnot. But it's most likely because neither Calvert-Lewin or Ings are going to go up or down in price tonight. They're not close enough to do so. It would basically be Calvert-Lewin out for Ings after we've already brought in Mohamed Salah for Sterling. And then in the following game week, we would just do nothing. I mean, we could take Salah out, but then it's a risk, you know, to bring in a Man City player for West Brom. But then there's a risk that, you know, we can't bring Salah back in because he might go up in price or something like that. So we probably just keep him. And then the week after that, we would have 2 free transfers. But I think the one transfer that I would probably make would be a goalkeeper transfer of some kind, maybe, because McCarthy has Man City, and that's probably not going to bode well. And we could bring in Brighton's goalkeeper Matt Ryan against West Ham away, Sheffield United at home, maybe. But again, we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there. Maybe we have other fires to put out at that point. But yeah, that's kind of the plan thus far. And we would have a differential, like I said, of the Southampton versus Sheffield United game. If Ings, you know, goes in there, you know, gets himself like goal assist, and same with Che Adams, and you know, all the points are loaded into either Kane or Son. Like, so let's say Spurs win 2-0, Kane gets, you know, goal assist and Son gets no returns, then that's good for us. So we want that, or we want basically our Southampton guys to match them, which would be great. So yeah, let's reset that, move that back down there. Put that back on the team. So let's actually take a look at the goals imminent table. So if you don't know, this is the this is on the Fantasy Football Scout members area. Now, the table is basically designed to show you which players are most likely, or on the, like, as it implies, they are imminent for scoring a goal. Now, these are players that have had big chances and missed them, or had a lot of goal attempts, a lot of shots in the box, a lot of shots on targets. They've been starting, and they should have had expected goals involved in them. So, some players on there. Trezeguet, not really an FPL asset that we're looking at, but is definitely on there. De Bruyne, we like to see that. He's hit the woodwork a couple of times. Timo Werner, a player that I'm definitely worried about this game week, and we'll see why in just a bit. Marcus Rashford could have potentially scored. He is also a, you know, one would classify him as a big game player. You know, on his debut, I think it was against, was it Liverpool, I want to say? Scored 2 goals versus them, something like that. I think on all of his debuts he scored, but yeah. He's on the goals imminent table. Bobby Firmino, or Roberto Firmino, is on there. Aubameyang, he's probably going to stay on there because, you know, Arsenal are terrible at the moment. Mane is on there, which is quite interesting considering he could be the better player historically in away fixtures when both him and Salah are fit versus Fulham, and you would think that he is almost certainly going to start in this game, although I think that Klopp's just going to go with the 4 attackers, you know, playing Mane, Jota, Salah, and Firmino anyway. McBurney's on there, got a few goal attempts in him there, and also scored last game week. Sebastian Haller is on there, and Theo Walcott, if you're looking for a differential. But in terms of team stats, offense and defense, so this is the last 4 game weeks. So this is from game week 8 to game week 11. So 8, 9, 10, 11 are all included. West Brom, Leeds, Everton, all top for big chances conceded. And in terms of goal attempts conceded inside the box. Everton is about halfway up the table. West Brom is still top. So again, could be good for Newcastle, but Sheffield United is up there. Leeds are up there. So these sorts of teams are susceptible to conceding goals. Shots on target conceded the most are, again, Leeds, West Brom, same people, Sheffield United. Fulham is up there as well. So that could be quite good for Liverpool, who usually are fairly accurate when it comes to the shots. But again, Everton's also up there as well. But and in terms of just goal attempts conceded overall, again, West Brom is top. Burnley like to concede a lot of shots anyway because they rely on Nick Pope to stop them. But yeah, overall, and Everton is up there for a lot of goal attempts conceded as well. So a little bit of stats in not really in favor, and the big chances conceded. That's the worrying one for like the likes of Everton and West Brom. So a big chance is basically like somebody's on the penalty spot with basically no one in front of them, and they just have the goalkeeper to beat, and they are able to basically shoot on target without it being blocked, and they don't score. Or they score, one of the two. But that is a big chance. A one-on-one with the goalkeeper, basically a free header, basically something that's going to have a XG rating that's, you know, basically every other time or 1 in 3 times somebody should score that. So yeah. And Chelsea, Man City are all down the bottom in terms of big chances conceded. Last 4 game weeks, Chelsea's only conceded 2 big chances, which is quite insane to actually think about. Which is quite interesting. In terms of XGI and attacking output, we have our captaincy players all here, and I've ordered them in terms of expected goal involvement. So over the last 4 game weeks, Bruno has been expected to be involved in 4 goals, and he's taken quite a few shots, 16, which is second most. 7 shots inside the box, 7 shots on target. So, and he's created 16 chances with 6 more than Kevin De Bruyne. Hey Zodiac, how's it going? I shouted you out at the beginning of the stream. I saw that you followed. Thank you. Thank you that you enjoy our YouTube videos. Much appreciated. Glad that you could join us on the stream here. We were just going over the captaincy numbers or players that are most likely to be captained here in terms of expected goal involvement. So if you look at the Liverpool players here as well, Salah and Mane. Now, Salah missed one of these games, so take that with a pinch of salt, but he still is expected to have scored 2 goals in that time, which I believe he's got, he's gotten like goal, assist, blank, goal, assist. So he's done quite well for himself. But Bruno is clearly, you know, is levels above everyone in terms of his involvement. And I think in the 3-1 win over West Ham, he had the assist for the first goal. He had the key pass, so the assist of the assister in the second goal. And same for the third goal as well. De Bruyne, who's on the goals imminent table, he's taken the most shots out of anyone. 11 have been inside the box, and that's because he's playing that new number 10 role with like the 2 kind of sitting players in behind him. And I think they'll definitely do that versus Man United. But we will see how that goes. Timo Werner is another one whose expected goal involvement is quite high, but he hasn't been able to deliver. So basically what the X delta says, so goals minus XG. So basically the number of goals that Bruno Fernandes has scored is 1.77 more than what his XG would suggest. So they're saying that he's been more clinical than what he should have been, whereas the likes of De Bruyne and Werner have their XG suggests that they should have scored 1.66 and 1.65 more goals than what they have, whereas someone like Calvert-Lewin, typically when he gets a chance, he scores it. And that's kind of what he's been doing. He hasn't created any big chances. Same with Mane and Son. But he's had second most big chances with 5. He's created 3 regular chances. But again, shots inside the box are pretty similar in shots on target. He pretty much shoots exclusively within the width of the goal and inside the 18-yard box of some kind. Another thing that we have to take a look at is Kane and Son's expected goal involvement. So quite low, actually, in terms of overall expected goal involvement. They have been like Son's goal that he scored versus Arsenal. I think it was like a 1 in 50 chance that goes in from that position. Kane's goal again comes on a counterattack with Thomas Partey injured, basically, who wasn't able to cover that position. Which was quite interesting as well. So again, Spurs have been somewhat fortunate, but again, it's this form over fixtures type thing. And then we have Jamie Vardy, again, someone who's slightly underperforming, should have had an extra goal than what he already does. And look, Kane and Son, 1.27 XG higher than what, and 1.12 XG higher than what they should have had. So far, so definitely exceeding it. So Son obviously scored a wonder goal. That would increase the XG delta in that regard. Let's take a look at the season ticker. So we're going to take a look at, again, this is all on the Fantasy Football Scout members area. If you haven't gone and subscribed over there to get access to the members area, I think it's like £20 for the whole year. It's a ridiculously cheap value. You might as well go and do it. It's got all kinds of stuff in here that I use on a day-to-day basis, looking at various different stats, and what helps me drive some of my points and analysis for not only the FPL videos for captaincy and that sort of stuff, but also for the tactics talk as well, because I believe there's heat maps in there somewhere. I haven't found them yet, but I think they're in here somewhere, and they have a bunch of different other things as well. So we're going to be we're going to shrink this down so it's just the next 4 game weeks, and we're going to look at attack and sort by difficulty. So at the top is the team that has potentially the best attack on paper, and Liverpool makes the most sense. They have Fulham, they have Crystal Palace, they have West Brom, 3 out of the next 4. And the reason I've done it to Game Week 15 is specifically because after Game Week 15, that's the last time to use your wild card, and a lot of people are going to be wild carding, and there's fixture swings in there. So this is kind of fixtures that I'm looking at, the next 4. Then you have Aston Villa up there, Newcastle, again, West Brom, Fulham, and Leeds in the next 3, with Man City at the end of that. But down the very bottom, you have Spurs. On paper would seem like bad fixtures. You know, Crystal Palace, very tough defensively. Liverpool, going to be always a threat. Leicester have been doing quite well for themselves this season. Wolves are usually quite compact defensively. Could be quite tricky. For defense, Aston Villa looks to be quite easy. Wolves don't typically score very many goals. Burnley, West Brom, Crystal Palace up there, and Liverpool's up there as well. Why is the wildcard deadline Game Week 16 and not 19? That is half in the season. That is because the season started late because of the pandemic and how they had to basically compress the season. So normally it would be 18 would be the last time you can use the wild card. 18, 19, thereabouts. You're about right. It's usually about half and half. But basically because of the fixtures starting in September, like midway through September, and some teams even blanked in that first game week. There was Burnley, Aston Villa, Man United, Man City. Since the fixtures were condensed, then they started in September instead of starting in second week of August. That's 3 extra game weeks. So if you think game week 16 is the last time you can use it, plus 3, 19, or thereabouts. So it's pretty bang on there. So next year, when it's the 2021-2022 season, it should be around that. So, but it can work out because Game Week 16, there's some big fixture swings as well. So like Spurs play, like I'll see if I can change it here. So we'll go to Game Week 16. Game Week 16 through 20, if we look at attack and sort by difficulty, Spurs is right up the top. They got Fulham, Leeds, and Liverpool at home, with Aston Villa and Sheffield United away. So very, very good looking fixtures overall for them. whereas Aston Villa's go just straight down into the toilet, basically. They have to first Chelsea, Man United, Tottenham, Everton, Burnley. Those aren't very good fixtures for them, in the slightest. There are some teams, obviously, that can bypass that. Like Everton is, one that's bad for. Liverpool, that should be somewhat okay for, because, you can expect Salah and these sorts of premium players to score against anyone. But it's quite interesting. So basically, I can, still having my wild card, just go about my business, have my team as it is. Let me put it back properly. Have my team as it is. Make transfers, saying that during this period I wasn't going to get, or I was going to take the Spurs players out to go for better fixtures, and then just wildcard them back in. So earlier we did we tried to experiment with a potential wildcard in terms of what we would do potentially if we wanted to get in the most amount of big hitters while still getting Kane, Son, all that sort of stuff. So we got rid of Grealish, we got rid of Calvert-Lewin, we got rid of Adams, Burke, Tellez, Kilman, Chilwell, Lamptey, McCarthy, and basically we got in Kane, we got in Son. Like, this is squeezing the most. Now I have 102.1 million in team value, so again, if you have 103 or 104, this becomes so much easier to do on wildcard and could be so potent going forward. But it all depends on if Souček's fit, really. And it also leaves you quite light on the bench. Then we got Meslier. We got Dallas. Oh, I have too many. No, it was Kufau. Now these are all assuming. So the only players that I would keep at current price would be Bamford, Fernandez, De Bruyne, and Salah. The rest of them I'd have to, and Steer obviously, but Steer is a bench player. So yeah, the rest of them I'd have to buy at market value. Where's Ferguson? Nico Williams. Who was the other 4-4 defense? Oh, it was Charlie Taylor. And basically, you would have a super cheap bench with Ferguson, Nico Williams, Steer, and Brewster. You would play Taylor, Ayling, Kufau, who all have like somewhat okay fixtures for the most part. But you would have the best possible midfield going forward. You would have Bruno Fernandes, who's on penalties. You would have De Bruyne, who's on penalties. You would have Salah, who's on penalties, and they all play for big teams. You have the Kane and Son double up for these lovely fixtures right here. Sheffield United, Aston Villa, Leeds, and Fulham. All great to play. Like, Fulham are going to try to attack Spurs. Falls right into their hand. Leeds are going to do the same. Aston Villa are going to do the same. Sheffield United, probably not as much, but again, all four of these teams, they can burn. Even Liverpool at home, they could definitely do it. Brighton as well, they could definitely do it. Chelsea, they can do it. West Brom, they can do it. City, they can do it. So all of these fixtures up until, into February look quite good for Spurs. The way they're currently playing, it all plays into their hand. And basically, the way it is now with the current ownership, like Kane's 40.4% owned, Son 59.2% owned. These two players, if you have just one of them and they both, they both score, then you're just going to have what I like to call, or what the Scoutcast also called, just basically a gray arrow. So basically the Kane and Son points just nullify each other, pretty much, unless you have both of them. Or you're captaining one of them and they do well. So yeah. And then you just basically, you'd be covered for, and then again, you'd have Man City fixtures from, Chelsea away and Everton away, aren't necessarily the best ratings, but then you have, all these good fixtures in here for Man City. Fernandez aren't as good, but some of them are okay, like Wolves at home, Aston Villa home, Fulham away, could be okay. Sheffield United at home is nice. What is your transfer plans in the next 3 game weeks? Sorry if you talked about that. I have, but I can just go through them quickly. I've already made a transfer for this week, which is I brought in Salah for Sterling because I had Sterling last week. So I'll show you how my team did last week, points wise. So we took a hit last week. We brought in Che Adams and De Bruyne in for Harry Kane, and there was one other player. Oh, James Rodriguez. So initially it looked good, but then Harry Kane obviously went and got a goal assist and some bonus points. So not ideal. But we had Che Adams in. Thought he could do well against Sheffield United at home. Is probably a better fixture for him. You know, we potentially would have had Callum Wilson had things not gone the way that they did, and maybe we wouldn't even be thinking about getting Ings. You know, maybe we'd be getting rid of Calvert-Lewin for Adams this week. Who knows? So yeah, now my team currently lines up like this. And the only other transfer that I'm thinking about making is getting rid of Calvert-Lewin early, because I got him when he was cheap. So when he was 7 million, I basically took a hit for him in game week to get him in game week 2 before his hat trick, which was quite nice. So we've had Calvert-Lewin since 7 million. DCL for Wilson, yep, that's perfectly fine too. I see a lot of people doing that as well. I wanted to go for something a little bit different. Because I just don't like watching Newcastle play, to be honest. I like watching Southampton. Like, I like picking players for teams that I enjoy watching them play. And I can't be sitting there saying, come on, Newcastle, when they're just, the way they play football is kind of crap. And Wilson, yeah, he's going to be a great player. It was like, you know, someone in one of my mini leagues basically had him, and they were like drawing 0-0 with Crystal Palace. I'm like, oh, this is going swimmingly. And then he gets a goal assist, like, in the last 2 minutes of the game. It's like, it was kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'm going to probably bring in, unless there's some news that he's not going to be fit or whatever, even though he looked fine to me, it'll be Ings in. And then we just play Adams, Bamford, Ings, Grealish, Salah, De Bruyne, Fernandes, Chilwell, Ayling, Lamptey, and I leave Tellez on the bench because I kind of don't want Tellez to play versus City. Chilwell versus Everton, I'm fine with. Ayling versus West Ham, I'm fine with. And then it's just a coin toss between whether Kilman is going to start versus Villa, but I don't want him to go up against Grealish. So I'd rather try to back Brighton versus Leicester, who haven't been performing as well as what they could have been. And that would cover me for Game Week 12. Game Week 13, I can basically do nothing if I wanted to. Yeah, I could just do nothing if I wanted to. I could get rid of McCarthy and bring in Meslier versus Newcastle, Man United. Who do they have? Newcastle, Man United, Burnley for the next 3. And if there's any price rises on him, I can still just keep him. That is something I can do. Whereas McCarthy's next few fixtures would be Arsenal, Man City, Fulham, which is, you know, probably comparable, but again, could be a change that I make. If I was going to do it, maybe it'd be next game week, and then I would basically look to potentially bring in maybe like Trent or Robertson for like 1 game week, or get rid of Tellez for somebody. I don't know. But then I also have the fact that I have the wild card coming in Game Week 16, so we'll see. You don't think it's risky to have both Adams and Ings? It is risky, I would say. Or is one of the risks that could potentially be that is possible. But I would say that it's also risky to have to be in the majority as well. So, like, as an example, if I have Kane and Son, and let's say I captain Kane this week because he has a good captaincy option versus Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace go and win there 1-0, win at home 1-0. That's a lot of my money that just went straight down the drain, right? Whereas this is a little bit cheaper. I'm only investing 14.3 million, whereas someone who has Son and Kane are investing 20+ million. In that sense. Chilwell and James Conner, the same situation. Defense, but can be very important. Yeah, exactly. Is Everton likely going to score against Chelsea? Probably not, though. You could make a case for both. But I definitely think so. If we go to, I'm gonna see if I can bring up something on the side here. See if I can find it. I don't know how to spell YouTube. Scout. Where's their captaincy video? I'm gonna see if I can bring the table that they had. Best captain. Apologies for that sound. Where is the table for... Okay, let me see if I can get a screenshot of this. So hopefully you can all see that. So I don't know if I can make that any bigger. But basically this is one that they brought up in their captaincy video, and it basically shows that if you can see here, Everton is, in terms of XG conceded, 7.49, 7 goals conceded, but they conceded the same number of big chances as the likes of West Brom and Leeds, who you know, defensively that just shows that they're, you know, they're very open, and that shows if you watch the games as well. Leicester's another one, maybe a potential Lamptey return in there. Fulham's up there. Even Southampton is there, but you know, McCarthy's been bailing them out. Like, they've conceded 11 big chances, but only have conceded 5 goals from them, which is quite good, I would say, for the amount of big chances they conceded. Whereas the likes of Sheffield United, we can see here, 1 less big chance, but they've conceded 8 goals. So when they do concede a big chance, they usually concede. And a big chance is basically classified as a clear scoring opportunity with a certain XG rating. So, like, as an example, something that's a shot from inside the 6-yard box is going to have a way higher XG rating of something that was shot on the edge of the box. You know, so yeah, that was a little table. So the one player that I am fearing, well, there's 2 players I'm fearing this week. One is Jamie Vardy, the other one is Timo Werner. But again, you can't have every player. Calvert-Lewin, I'm not worried about. I don't think he's going to do well versus Chelsea at all. I think Chelsea are going to be too good for them. I think Leicester, he could do well. Arsenal, he probably could do well. Sheffield United, he could do well. But I also think that Ings versus him in those 3 games. So if you think, okay, he could definitely do good versus Sheffield United, and then like decent versus Arsenal and Leicester. If we look at, you know, Southampton also face Arsenal in that run. They also face Fulham, who are quite easy. So you can say it's comparable to Sheffield United. And then Man City is a team which stylistically they've done quite well against as well. And I think that Calvert-Lewin, he's going to be like a 6-pointer type player. He's you know, if you look at the amount of times, how many times have you seen him get 8, you know, like 8 or 9 when he scores 1 goal, right? So if you look, 8 points, so he got 2 bonus there. Okay, he scored a hat trick, got 3 bonus, makes sense. 6, 6, 6, 8, so okay, he got 2 bonus there. Just an assist, I got a brace and 3 bonus, and then 6. So a lot of, like, four times here, he's getting a goal. No bonus points at all. Whereas, like, the likes of Danny Ings, who came on and scored a penalty, max bonus off the bench, you know? Danny Ings is just like how Raul Jimenez is. He gets 1 chance, it goes in, and he gets max bonus points for it because he doesn't lose the ball, he doesn't have bad touches, you know, those sorts of things, which is why he's, you know, BPS so high. Raul Jimenez was perfect at that. Do nothing for the whole game. Come 75th minute onwards, he gets 1 chance, goal, 9 points, game over, like, type thing. And it's a 1-1 draw, or they win 1-0, something like that. Hey Neep, how's it going? Glad that you could join us. I think it's over for DCL now. He will score from time to time, but it's not like the first 11 games. Exactly. Even Mars got bonus for kind of doing nothing last week. DCL doesn't get that. Yeah, exactly. Like, Mars was still creating chances. He was still creating chances. But, like, if you look at like Ings here. Ings got 2 goals scored, and he got 1 bonus point. But again, he scored 2 goals, got 1 bonus point when the enemy team scored 5. And that was when Kane scored 1 goal, 4 assists, and Son got 4 goals or something stupid like that. So you can understand why he only got 1 bonus point there. Bit harsh. Scored 3 bonus points. Scored once in a 3-3 draw. 1 bonus point still. 2-0 win with 2 assists. Gets 2 bonus points. So didn't even score. I think Che Adams got goal, assist, and got 3 bonus this game. 1 goal in a 4-3 game, which was just a worldie. Again, don't expect him to get bonus points here. Comes on at halftime or whatever it was. Scores a goal, gets bonus. Like, Danny Ings is very good at getting bonus. Whereas, like, Bruno was like, he had, goal, assist, 3 bonus. He got the 1 goal, but again, came off at halftime. So again, and conceded 6 versus Spurs. So not really going to get bonus here. Goal, assist, 3 bonus. 2 goals, assists, 3 bonus. Goal, 3 bonus. Goal, assist, no bonus. I remember this game because Bruno misplaced so many passes in the first, 60 minutes of the game. And then this game, comes on, gets an assist, 2 bonus. He does get quite a lot of bonus. But it depends, the Southampton game's an anomaly because he did waste quite a lot of chances and can do that. Bruno has games where it's like that. You also notice that Salah will have games like that too. Where, look at this game. Aston Villa scored 7 goals, so that's probably not really the case. But, Salah scores a goal in a 2-2, no bonus points. Salah scores 1 of the 2 goals for his team in a West Ham game, only 1 bonus point. So it's one of those things where there's some players that do things better than others. Some have higher pass accuracy, some have higher successful dribbles. So Salah's one of the players that gets dispossessed quite a lot because he tries to dribble past players, or he tries to do something fancier. Whereas De Bruyne is someone who's very accurate with his passing, creates a lot of successful passes, creates a lot of half chances, which will build up his BPS. Same with Bruno. Bruno's the exact same way. Danny Ings is just super clinical. So Danny Ings is the type of player that when it comes to XG, it's just it just doesn't make sense. It's oh, Danny Ings has a 0.15 XG chance of scoring that. Oh, he scored it. Okay, cool. Whereas you have someone like the opposite, like Timo Werner, who has an XG of, he should have scored 4 goals over the last 4 weeks. He's only scored 1.5. So there are players that are better or worse at those particular stats. And it is better to get the players that are going to be involved. Danny Ings is also on penalties as well. So that would be another thing. Calvert-Lewin isn't on penalties. We also can't forget that as well. So in my team, I would have Salah, De Bruyne, Fernandes, Ings on penalties, and potentially Grealish could be on penalties too. It is interesting. I wish Bamford was on penalties. That'd be a problem. That'd be a very big problem for some people, because they'd be like, well, Bamford has to come in. You're really good at keep talking even when there's no comments and questions. That's a huge strength. Yeah, I can talk for days about football. I could talk for days. There's a lot of things to discuss, personally. But yeah, you could just keep the conversation going. There's many different things to discuss, why is Man United so crap? I don't know. I follow them, but and they're my team, but I cannot understand it. How many years have I played FPL? So, in terms of years where I've said, okay, I know what I'm doing in FPL, I know how the game functions, I know how to look at statistics and that sort of stuff, this will be my 2nd year overall. So last year was the first serious year that I played. I played it on a different email. So if you go look up my ID now, you won't see any past years. So there was, I think it was there was 3 years I played before. So 1 year only played for like the last like 6 weeks or whatever it was to see what it was about. The year before that, didn't really like kind of pay attention, just kind of picked players that I liked, and that was whatever for the whole year, and kind of forgot them on my team some weeks. The year before that, finally started to understand the game in more depth, and kind of thought, okay, let me try some of this, but again, still wasn't fully into it. Last year was proper, okay, sit down, this is me, let's go. I know with how things work now, I can actually compete. And I got, I think it was 32 or 33k, which, you know, in top 50k is pretty good. First year I played the series, tried it for the first time last in top 5%. Don't know what that equates to. Just gonna bring up a calculator. So 7, 1, 2, 3 times by 0.05. So around the same as me. Around the 35k marks, inside the top 50k, which is a good start. That's kind of what we're looking at. I'm just gonna make sure that Ings or Calvert-Lewin aren't going up or down by any chance. Just one last check. Ings is basically about break even, and Calvert-Lewin's about 30% away from going down, so we still can wait till tomorrow and we'll be okay. Yeah, my goal this season is top 10k. That's what I'm going for. 5% is 350k. There was 7.5 million. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I don't know. I don't know how to do math then. But I was 33k or something. But then again, that if you look up my ID now, you won't see it because it was on another email that I used to use. But yeah, that was like the first email. Was like, okay, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna look at players. I'm gonna watch all like because on so like the 2 seasons where I was like, okay, I'll pick the players I like. It was like, oh, I'm picking 3 United players because that's this team that I follow. Oh, this guy just scored a hat-trick. I'll bring him in. Oh, I forgot to set my team 1 week, whatever. Whereas last season was like, okay, looking at numbers and all that sort of stuff. So, but yeah, top 10k is what I'm going for. That's the holy grail, and it's getting harder and harder every year because there are more and more players. So 10k is still the same number of places, but there are more players competing for that place. Even though there are a lot of players that will set up their team first 5-10 weeks and then burn all their chips and then not play ever again because they try to get like would be like trying to get like the team of the week type thing, because you get like prizes for that or something. So yeah, so let me close out of that. So yeah, so basically this is going to be the team. Almost certainly. I don't want to play Telles versus Man City. Even though the last time United played, United won 2-0. And that was at Old Trafford, actually. McTominay scored one from like basically the halfway line. Because Ederson like kicked the ball out to him. Which was fun to watch. But I still think I'm going to want De Bruyne to score. I'm not even sure Telles will even play. Because Luke Shaw is back, so he might play. So that might be another problem that we have to deal with. And Telles might become Reece James, so who knows? We will see. Yeah, most likely Calvert-Lewin's going to leave for Ings. I could go to Callum Wilson. Could I actually? I'm going to check something while I'm thinking of it. So if I wanted to, I can get Calvert-Lewin, bring in Callum Wilson. That's only 6.2. And I'd be just short of Son if I wanted to go for him, which is unfortunate. Who would I choose between Konza and Taylor? In terms of the coming game weeks, probably Konza, but Charlie Taylor is cheaper, so but if money was no option, then Konza most certainly. I mean, they play against Wolves, which should be okay. Charlie Taylor plays against, where is Burnley? Against Arsenal, so they'll probably keep a clean sheet there. So, then Aston Villa they go up against each other. Burnley has Wolves. Aston Villa has West Brom, which should be okay for them. Burnley has Leeds, which is probably bad for them. Aston Villa has Crystal Palace, which is good for them. And then Burnley has Sheffield United, which is okay. And then Aston Villa has Chelsea. So okay, it's probably close, to be honest. Oh, you don't know who you should start between Konsa and Taylor. Okay. Burnley has Arsenal and Aston Villa has Wolves. That is tough, actually. That is tough. I would go with the team that's probably gonna not be likely to score. And that's probably Arsenal, to be honest. So I would go with the Burnley player. Because Burnley could have easily kept out Everton if they wanted to. But Konsa has been doing well from set pieces, and Charlie Taylor, again, isn't the most attacking fullback in the world. I think it's a tough call. I would for sure say if Burnley was at home, I would definitely say Burnley would be better. Is Wolves more dangerous than Arsenal even without Jimenez? Oh, 100%. Arsenal's attack is useless. It's absolutely useless. Unless they're playing in the Europa League, their attack is absolutely terrible. And Wolves' attack is like Aston Villa's still going to want to attack them. Wolves' attack, they still have Pedro Neto, they still have Daniel Podence, they still have Adama Traore, who's super scary. You know, I think there's literally no player in the world that if Traore sprints, like knocks the ball around him and sprints past him, nobody's catching him. Whereas Arsenal, you know, you have the likes of like Loughton and Charlie Taylor and stuff. They got to stand up Willian, who's like, has no pace. Yeah, when you read Aubameyang, it is you know, you think he's quite scary, but hasn't been doing good at all. It is a home game for Arsenal, which actually let's see how have they done well at home this season. I don't think they have actually. Home win, home win, home loss, home loss, home loss. So the last 3 home games they've lost, which hasn't been great. Yeah, he could score a hat-trick but he does. He is playing quite badly. I don't know. It's tough. It is quite tough. Let's see what the season ticker says. Let me minimize this. Let me change this to Gameweek 12. I'm gonna do it just off the one fixture. I'm gonna go defense. So off the one fixture, it says that who is it? Charlie Taylor, and it says Aston Villa has an easier time, but it's not accounting for the fact that Arsenal are bad. So it says Burnley's down pretty much the bottom here, whereas Aston Villa's right here on a one-off. What tool is that? This is a season ticker for the Fantasy Football Scout members area. I believe they have an offer. It's like £20 for the whole year, and you can use the season ticker where it rates fixtures and that sort of stuff. You also have public stats tables. When I go to put this video out, or when you see it on YouTube, if you go back in the video, you'll see that I have a section where I go on and talk about all this sort of stuff. But yeah, a lot of people have you know, public tables in here. I've created my own stats tables as well. Yeah, it's £20 for the Fantasy Football Scout members area. This logo. Just search that. you'll find it. But yeah, they have all kinds of stats that are powered by, I believe it's OptaStats, which is basically just there's many different stats you can come up with in here. There's also a rate my team. I believe there's heat maps in here. Injuries, all kinds of articles that are written and that sort of stuff. So it's pretty useful actually, and I use it a lot in our videos as well. Yeah, so I'm gonna put a poll out on whether you guys want the tactics talk for Man United versus Man City, or would you rather another stream on Sunday, and then I do a stream on Monday as well because it's a quick turnaround for Gameweek 13. So I'm gonna do a poll on that. And then I'll do a couple of videos throughout the week, and then it's gonna be Boxing Day the following week. So there's gonna be quick turnarounds for some of those streams. So what I'll try to do is like go over like the things that I would normally do. So actually, that's one last thing that I'm gonna go over while I'm thinking about it. So captaincy choices this week. So normally, we do the captaincy choice, we do buy, hold, sell, we do pep roulette. So let's do them all really quickly right now. So captaincy choices for this week, I think in order is a Liverpool mid, so Salah or Mane would be first. Is almost certainly going to be the best captaincy option. Then it's probably going to be the Spurs assets. Then it's probably going to be Vardy. Then it's probably going to be the Manchester clubs, and then probably like Calvert-Lewin / Werner or something like that. And Ings is definitely an outside shout, and Bamford as well. But Bamford usually does away from him. But I think if you're not captaining Salah or Mane this week, I think you're doing it wrong. Buy, hold, sell for this week. I think you definitely need to buy. You definitely need to buy some type of cheaper forward, I would think. Bamford's probably the one I would go to, but he's somewhat highly owned. But I think he's going to continue to do well. But I think Che Adams could do well this week as well, but I think I had him on my last week one. I also think that players you should hang on to, if you have Sterling and you're not getting rid of him for Salah, I would say hang on to him. Because he could potentially do well, but hasn't historically done well. I would say hang on to Timo Werner if you do have him, and players that I would sell would be James Rodriguez for sure. I would sell Jamie Vardy, to be honest, if you were funding a move for Kane, or if you're funding a move for Salah or something like that too. And Robertson and Trent are also not too bad either, especially for the next three. In terms of Pep Roulette, Ederson will start in goal. Walker will almost certainly play at right back with Diaz and Laporte as the center backs. Left back will probably be either João Cancelo or Nathan Ake. I don't think it's going to be Mendy, and I don't think it's going to be Zinchenko. I would probably lean more towards Cancelo because he's just been their best player. Midfield is going to be De Bruyne, Rodri, and Fernandinho. If Fernandinho or Rodri gets dropped for Gundogan, I can see that too, but Gundogan did have a knock in midweek, so why not Mendy? Because Mendy defensively is crap. And you do not want Mason Greenwood or Marcus Rashford running at Benjamin Mendy. You would rather Cancelo or Ake, someone who's a little bit more astute defensively, doing that. And then Aguero's not going to start. Pep said that. Jesus will play up front. Sterling will probably play left side, and then Mars will play the other side. Why did Mendy not play in the Champions League instead? Because Pep's weird. I don't know. If he does start Mendy, then fair play to him. But I don't think Mendy's what they need to do. Unless There is one exception to that rule. Unless he has he's instructed Mendy to swing crosses into the near or swing crosses to the back post, and he plays you know, somebody who's a bit sneakier at the back post in that role. Maybe he goes like Sterling false or Ferran Torres false 9, Sterling one side, Mars the other side, and then just like has Ferran Torres' movement get him involved. But I think he'll go with a mostly unchanged team. I think we'll go a bit more defensive with Fernandinho and Rodri. I think that's what Pep will go with. But I could be wrong. I know Walker's definitely going to play. Diaz will definitely play. Ederson will definitely play. De Bruyne will play. Rodri will play. Jesus will play. And Mars will play. Almost certainly. But in terms of the way United is going to play, if I was United, I would match that 4-2-3-1. I played Dean Henderson in goal personally because I think he's better at passing out from the back than De Gea. And De Gea had that knee injury, and I'm not sure if he's over that. I would play Tuanzebe because he's quick. Alongside either Maguire and Lindelof. Probably Maguire because he's not going to get dropped, but I would play Tuanzebe personally. I would play... if you want someone more defensively astute, I would probably say Shaw at left back. Wan-Bissaka at right back. I would go with Fred and Donny van de Beek in the pivot. I would have Fernandes in the 10, Rashford left, Mason Greenwood wide right, and then assuming we don't have Martial or Cavani, you could potentially play Rashford through the middle and then play Dan James out on the left, or maybe play a diamond midfield or something like that. Maybe he goes with a back 3 as well. It depends on how fit the two strikers are. I had Cancelo 1 week, but I don't like the doubt of every week. So I had to remove him. Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't have Jota either. Exactly. Players that are nailed on are the best players. Which is why the people who are bringing in Jota, bringing Mars, bringing these sorts of players, I just didn't understand it because of the fact that they're not guaranteed to play week in, week out. Although I do think Jota will start this week, and I do think that Mars will start this week. Well, that's another matter. Because I think versus the bad teams, Klopp's going to go with the 4 attackers. Yeah, Mars plays well typically. The first couple of game weeks that Pep was picking Mars were pretty bad. Mars was very greedy. Although it wasn't that, he should be fine. But yeah, that's going to be the team for this week, with probably Calvert-Lewin making way for Ings after we've already brought in Salah for Sterling. So the Calvert-Lewin move out for Ings would be for a hit, but it's better for the next few game weeks. And I think the Ings has better upside, especially this coming game week versus Sheffield United. So we have McCarthy in goal, Lamptey, Ayling, Chilwell, Salah captain, Fernandes vice-captain, De Bruyne, Grealish, Adams, Bamford, Calvert-Lewin, who's most likely going to be Ings, with Steer, Burke, Kilman, Telles on the bench. So let's move over to the big camera here, and that's going to do it for our Game Week 12 deadline stream. Make sure to follow us over on Twitter so that you can get the actual official lineup, who's my captain, who's my vice captain, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, check out the VOD over on YouTube as well. This is where, if you're watching it over on there, this was originally streamed on Twitch, so make sure to follow us over on Twitch as well, and you can catch the streams live. I usually leave a pinned comment down below as to when the next streams are going to be. I'm also going to put a poll up as to if you guys want the tactics talk for the Man United versus Man City game on the Sunday, and then I do a stream that's a longer stream on Monday, or if you want 2 streams and 2 videos in that way. For next week, I'll probably still eventually do the tactics talk for Man United versus Man City if it's interesting and not just a boring 0-0. But yeah, thanks for watching, and until the next one, take care.